Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Emma. If you're new here, welcome. I hope you enjoyed this video. I am doing a spoiler discussion review video chat today on The Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. So obviously there are spoilers in this because it's a sequel to A Court of Thorn and Roses. Woo! Their names are just so long, it's hard to remember. If you have not read that one, you should not be watching this video as things will get revealed. And trust me, you want to read this book. You do not want to get told any spoilers from it because it's amazing and it needs to be read. So go ahead, go read that and come back when you're done and watch this video and discuss with me. So book 2 is following Feyre still as she's dealing with the aftermath of what happened from under the mountain in the end of book 1. She went through a very traumatic experience. She had to fight for her life, and even then she still died. But with the help of the other courts and their high lords, they banded together and they gave her all this power so that she could become immortal, and she's dealing with those consequences and how to be in her new body and what she needs to do with that. She's got a very big learning curve basically to get through in this book, and she's sad. She's very depressed. She reminds me of someone who has post-traumatic stress syndrome. Woo! I can't speak today. I don't know what's going on. So she's still in the spring court in the beginning of the book, and we see that Tamlin has become this very controlling guy who doesn't want her to leave the estate, the spring court, to go onto the grounds, to go hunting, to go help figure out what's going on with this war that is brewing. She doesn't have many friends there. She's lost in a shell of herself. She's not the Feyre that we've known from the first book. A part of her soul seems fractured, and we see that in the beginning of this book. I can't stand Tamlin in the beginning of this. In book 1, I was like, okay, I enjoy Tamlin. They're pretty cute together. I knew they weren't mates, so I was wondering if that would play out and if there would be a love triangle, which I hate love triangles. So to know that there wasn't really one in this was fantastic. I'm very happy about that. But Tamlin in this did like a complete 180. I understand why he's so controlling over her and why he wants her to stay at the court and not go out and figure all these things out. I understand where he's coming from, but when you're reading from Feyre's point of view, you're just like, she's turning into dust. Feyre is losing herself. She's nothing more than a body at this moment. So I can't help but feel so bad for her, and I just wanted to tell her, you know, you're okay. I know you went through a lot. And so this is where Rhysand comes in. I tell you, I kid you not, guys, I would read this book if it was literally just his name written in crayon for like 400 plus pages. That is how much I love Rhys. I'm speechless when I speak of him because I just love him so much. But he comes because in book 1, he gave her a tattoo all over the arm, and basically he's taking her to his place. What was it, like 2 times a month or once a month or something like that? And that's a huge play on Persephone and Hades. Wow, you know what I'm talking about. I don't even know what it's called, guys. I don't know any of that. We're gonna give me a big old F for not knowing any of these names. I failed at school, I guess. Yeah. Anyways, he comes in, he interrupts the wedding, and he's just like, I'm taking Feyre, because Feyre is in her mind. She's like, I don't want to do this. She came to the conclusion. She's like, I cannot marry Tamlin if he's like this. So Rhys comes, takes her away, and there begins this huge journey of love and guilt and heartache and healing. It's a great process to read through. I loved seeing Feyre, not Rhys, I love seeing Feyre go from this broken shell of girl to this mighty warrior, high lady action going on. I think that's amazing. I feel like Feyre is such a great person to look up to, you know? In my mind, I was like, when I grow up, I want to be like Feyre. And I think that's a great way to think about it. She's very strong, she becomes capable, she doesn't learn all of her powers like that, which if you've watched my tea video, the last tea talk, that's one of the things I disliked about fantasy books, is that they go into magic and they're instantly like full on trained and they're kicking booty everywhere, and I'm like, that's not realistic. So Feyre takes her time and she learns, and new powers appear and work as the book goes on, so it takes its time. It's a great setup, and I like that. I love the Night Court. I love seeing Valeris. I think it's phenomenal, and as we read on about Rhys, who I disliked in the first book, because obviously I was just like, oh great, there's just this weird man-winged being thing that's oddly attracted to Feyre, and I'm like, this is a bad time for another guy to get into the picture. And so at the end I was just like, oh great, Rhys is not a huge deal, it's just 1 a month thing. And I start reading this book, and then she's just like, see ya Tamlin, I'm gonna go to Rhys. I'm like, that did a 180 there. But I love the Night Court. I love Rhys's friends. Rhys's? That sounds really good actually. Rhys's. I love his friends. I think they're a dynamic group to have in this book. I loved reading about them. I loved hearing about their histories together, and love and not love, and just tension all about, and I love that group of friends, and I'm so glad that Feyre has them and that she can call them her family. I think that's great. Of course, I love the attraction between Rhys and Feyre. When I first read this over a year ago, not over, a year ago, it was last year, I was like, wow, I love these two together. Here I thought I liked her and Tamlin together, but Rhys and Feyre together are just dynamite. I loved reading their scenes together. I fell in love with these two characters together. And I know a lot of people don't like the romance taking over fantasy, but I feel like in this case it didn't. It felt very complete with this romance between them. I felt like it would have been weird if there wasn't any romance between them and it was just flat out fantasy because they were just so great together, and I would have missed that if it wasn't in there. So I very much appreciate their relationship and how Rhys wasn't shoving himself at her. He took his time, he let her heal, and he understood her. He knew what she needed, and I'm so glad that he was there for her. It was around the middle when I realized, oh, they're mates. That makes sense. And so when I got to the part where where they're in the kitchen and she's cooking him food, soup or whatever, I'm like, this is so cute. I adored it. I love it. So I loved them together. I'm just over the moon happy with the way the book ended. Since it's been a year since I read it, I forgot what the ending was, and so when it started at the 88% point, I was freaking out because I was like, what's happening? I don't remember. Is their bond actually broken or not? And then I realized, oh wait, they're pretty smart. They got hitched. They created a plan. It all worked itself out, and yeah, now Feyre is stuck at the Spring Court. Not too happy about that. I'm really hoping she's not stuck there forever in the next book. I mean, I know the next book is like 600 plus pages or something like that, but I hope Feyre is not stuck in the Spring Court for all of that, or even half of that, because I need Feyre and Rhys time, and I'm going to be a very unhappy person if I don't get their time. The other thing that I was not seeing was Lucien and Feyre's sister, whose name I cannot remember right now, are mates. Who saw that coming? Because I didn't. I didn't even think of Nessa. Nessa? No, that's the evil one. She turned into a weird evil thing, I think. I'm not getting into that because she's probably going to destroy everything in the land. But, what is her name? Elaine? Elena? But Lucien and her, that's going to cause some dynamite troubles and everything because she doesn't like Faze. He's whatever he is. His friend's Tamlin. He's stuck in like a rock and a hard place, and I don't know how to feel about that. What do you think? What do you feel about Lucien and her being together? I'm not sure how I feel about that. I don't like the process of how she turned into immortal. That's terrifying, and that whole, oh my gosh, there's way too much in this book that I don't have enough time to talk about it, because otherwise this would be like a 2-hour video, and my battery cycle lasts 2 hours, so pretty well. Actually it will, but we're not gonna have a 2-hour discussion about the baddies of A Court of Mist and Fury. But anyways, what did you think about Lucien and her becoming mates? How do you think that'll play out in book 3? Because I'm not entirely sure. What do you think is going to happen in book 3? Because I think it's going to be a mess. I fear what the Spring Court has turned into, with Tamlin being all rawr and where's my Farah alpha man thing. I don't know what's going to happen, but I feel like that's going to be a big cause of the trouble. Farah keeping Tamlin away from her. That sounds like bad trouble. Her keeping up the appearance of not being mated to Rhys anymore. Sad face. And oh yeah, the impending war over all the courts. Just that little thing that'll happen in book 3. But I loved this book. Obviously, I didn't have a lot of bad things about it. The only bad thing I found about it is that it ended. I give this 5 out of 5 stars. Obviously, I really loved it. Can't wait for book 3. It's almost here. I'm salivating with need to have this book in my life. I need it now. But what do you think is going to happen in book 3? Let me know. Let's discuss it down below. Please thumbs up and push that little bell next to the subscribe button if you haven't already subscribed. And I hope you enjoyed my video, and I'll see you next time.